Hello Toronto, this video is for you. So there is a by-election coming up, which means that we're going to be voting for mayor again, because goodbye, farewell, good riddance to John Tory. So a lot of you don't vote. I totally understand why. It never feels like there's anyone to vote for. I promise you this time, there is someone to vote for, and that is really exciting for all of our futures. So if you don't know about her, her name is Chloe Brown. I'm just gonna let the footage speak for itself. Those of you who love her, here's a refresher.
So John just read the announcements during the pandemic. I personally did not feel any leadership. I heard more announcements from Doug Ford selling me Tim Hortons than how to find a proper vaccine clinic. And I want to shout out Vaccine Hunters because they actually did the work to get us to the places we needed to go. There's nihilism that is running through this city because the micromanager that we've hired is taking a salary of $200,000 from us and then $100,000 from Rogers, and he's not doing either job well. As someone who is paying his salary, if I was his employer, I would have to fire him because I wouldn't have to be on this stage if he was answering his emails, taking proactive research, leadership to solve these problems. As a policy analyst, it's my job to do surveys, I do research, environmental scans, and I create recommendations for the John Torys of the world because they don't do their research, because they don't take any action outside of me telling you to do your job. And delegating is not a sign of leadership. It's old and it needs to change, and this is why young people are leaving. There is no hope in the John Torys and the Gil Penalosas of the world because they only wear one hat. The rest of us have to wear 5 hats in order to do our jobs because they just hire people to do their jobs as consultants, board members. This is why we're leaving. I'm not done yet, Sarah. I'm not done yet. But this is the problem. It's these single issue candidates without the ability to look beyond the one thing that they studied for. As a policy analyst, I have worked across a variety of sectors to solve the labor issue. The labor issue that we're facing is a lack of good wages. It's a lack of updating our careers.
It won't just have to be the mayor who does everything. It's all of us doing it together. And we as a city need to decide, what do we want? Do we want low property taxes? Do we want a cleared budget? Do we want libraries? Do we want transit? What do we want? Let's decide together.
Sorry. I think it's kind of hilarious to hear the mayor can only do so much because if we've been watching recently, Doug Ford is kind of the mayor now because John Tory hasn't really challenged him. He's given strong mayor powers to Toronto. And during the pandemic, we all watched as the government created all these income support programs to help people. So I do not buy that the government can only do so much. The elected officials choose to do so much.
And the fact is we rely on people to let us know where they are. And I think actually we have a pretty good record of getting out and filling them. 180,000 so far this year. So far this year.
And that's the problem. You're relying on residents to tell you to do your job. Meanwhile, you're the leader and you should be setting visions and a plan for us to co-opt onto. There is so much possibility here if we actually are focused on resetting the scales. And what that means is restoring democracy for the working class. I'm here to move beyond left-wing and right-wing rhetoric after, I don't know, since 2016, we've been put onto teams of you're left wing and you're right wing because you believe in this and you believe in that. Well, unfortunately, the working class are not that easily swayed. We are right wing and left wing based on the issues that come to us. And it's time that we actually put investment and power into the hands of the working class people that we champion when we say diversity is our strength. It's time to go beyond theory and actually get into action and practice. And the only way that we do that is getting rid of the old forms of management that govern working class people. And it's not just John, it's Doug, it's Justin, it's all the dynasty boys that use their parents' power to not take up jobs, but to sit on corporate ladders and use that as an opportunity to look down on us and say, hey, solve your own problems because I did. The reality is completely different. I'm running because I, as a policy analyst, have heard you. You cuss me every day about where your programs and services are, and you have every right to be mad. The elected officials no longer represent the working class, and that is why I'm running. Because it's time to get power back into the hands of capable people who actually care about fixing their communities and not getting cottages away from the chaos. My name is Chloe Brown, and vote for me. Thank you.